Hey everybody, Christopher K. Smith. This is my FibLines quarterly update for June 30th, 2018. Here's a disclaimer regarding trading products. Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. You know the drill. So I want to give you a quick, this video should last, by the way, just about 15 minutes, and I'll give you a quick update, quick introduction to the FibLines indicator, review the markets, review my favorite symbols, and wrap it up just in about 15 minutes time. So first, what is FibLines? FibLines is a technical study that you can apply to pretty much any chart, any financial product. And it's based on Fibonacci retracements. So this is the Thinkorswim platform. Basically, you use the Fibonacci retracements tool. Looks at this little percentage sign here. And you draw a line from the top to the bottom of what would be considered Elliott wave 1. And once you do that, the Fib retracements tool draws a line, first the 0 and 100, which is the area that you marked, and then a line at 161% of that initial move, 261 of that initial move, and 423% of that initial move. And this is based on the principle of Fibonacci, where you basically add the prior two numbers. So 100 plus the 61.8, you add those two together, you get 261.8, and then you add 161 and 261, you get 423. So basically, the idea is that once you identify this first Elliott wave 1, you're likely to see support and resistance at these other lines. So we had a little bit of a pause here, broke out, then it came back, and notice we found resistance right there at that 161% line, which is 161% of this initial move here. So those are the major lines, the red lines. There's also another level of lines that you can draw using the same Fibonacci retracements tool. And again, use the same tool there, except you edit the lines, and you remove all but the 38.2 and 61.8 lines. I'm going to make those orange. So basically, you subdivide each one of these regions again into at the 38.2 and 61.8 levels, which are themselves Fibonacci levels. And you notice that prices now tend to deflect also off of these minor lines. So it's a cool indicator, but of course it's a lot of work to do it manually for all your charts. So that's what the FibLines indicator does for you. So we're going to remove these drawings, and we're going to add the FibLines indicator. Takes a few moments to draw. And once you do that, you'll notice that the lines are drawn for you automatically. And if we zoom out, we can see the entire sequence. So you'll notice that a lot of times it's just amazing the way prices just deflect off these lines. In some cases, the prices deflect off the lines, in this case down here. In other cases, they kind of gyrate around the lines. So sometimes they're support, sometimes they're resistance. Notice this case right here, the lines bounced, the prices bounced almost perfectly off this orange line, and up here, they deflected almost perfectly off of this orange line. So that's the thing. So that's how what the indicator looks. It helps you to identify short-term areas of support and resistance based on the principles of Elliott and Fibonacci. Now, a couple other cool things about the indicator. One is the lines are the same at any time frame. You could go to an hourly chart, you could go to a daily chart, you could go to a 10-minute chart. The lines don't move. So the indicator is part technical calculation and it's part interpretation. So the indicator itself contains levels for each one of these symbols. It doesn't work for all symbols. It works for about 220 symbols that I include with the indicator. And of course, the levels change over time, and that's why it has to be maintained. So I do 4 quarterly updates, and this is my quarterly update for June of 2018. So that's a quick introduction to the FibLines indicator. If you want more detailed information, why it works, how it works, you can go up to YouTube and search for Introduction to FibLines. You'll find about a 20-minute video I have there where I go through the whole process and talk about why I think they work and how they work, etc. So take a look at that if you're interested in more background. Take a look at the markets. Year-to-date values here. Dow is down about 1.8. Small caps doing better than both the Dow and the SPY, up almost 8%. Neither of them doing as well as the QQQ, which is up about 10%. But look at Amazon, 45% for the year. I had to go back and double take when I looked at that. I was like, is that really the case? I mean, you look at Amazon, let's go to a 20-year daily. And we can see that in early 2018, the price was actually about $1,200 a share. So yes, the price has actually gone up 45% year to date. That's just a a monstrous move, but look at PayPal. Square is actually even more than Amazon. So if you watch my videos in the past, you'll know I've been a fan of PayPal, and actually had an entry a couple years back based on a deflection off of a red Fibonacci level, a red FibLines level, and did pretty well with that. Square up 77% year to date. I think I mentioned in my last quarterly update that I took off some position in PayPal and added to Square. So taking a look at Square, Square provides financial services to businesses, credit card processing, etc. Square's had quite a run. I'm pretty much loaded long in Square. And notice how we had a nice little deflection here off of this orange line. Almost a perfect 3-bar deflection. And this would have been a good opportunity to, if you're an option trader, to sell a put spread at the 80 level, at the 60 level, excuse me. So you could do a 60, 58 put spread, or say a 60, 55 put spread out 60 to 90 days, and I expect Square is going to get up and make new all-time highs. So what else? Let's take a look at some other symbols here. Home Depot has been reworked in this release. Another thing that the FibLines let you do is come up with targets for stocks. The target would be the 423% line. So we can see for Home Depot, the 423% line is over here at $242 a share, and we're at 195 right now. So that's another cool thing about FibLines is, again, you have targets. We would have to get through this area of resistance here in the 205 level. So housing is pretty much been hot. This has been a very hot spring selling season. A lot of cases around here where I live, multiple offers came in for the same property, with the highest bidder winning, of course. People are fixing up their homes a lot also because the limited inventory out there, and of course that works in Home Depot's favor. Another one, Costco, COST. Also been doing great. Recently made a new all-time high. Target for Costco, $220 a share, not far from where it is at $210. Netflix has been absolutely on fire. Really broke out here recently to the upside after this recent earnings we had back here in April, I believe it was. Yeah, April 19th. Stock just completely rocketed to the upside, and you look at a stock like this and go, where is it going to stop? Well, we've got a target for you based on FibLines. The target is $530 a share is what we see for Netflix. That's a good 25% from here. So I'm not saying you should jump in right now. Wait till you get one of these squeezes on the TTM squeeze indicator. That's these little red dots here, and that indicates that the price is in a period of consolidation, that the range bands are inside of the Keltner channel. The Bollinger Bands are inside the Keltner channel. So Netflix looking good. Amazon, I know we talked about that one briefly already. I am long Amazon, and I've been from, like I said, the 1450s here on this pullback here. Not a lot, for $1,700 stock. You can't hold that much. I own about 8 shares total, but I've been doing pretty well on that. Target for Amazon is $1,997, or almost $2,000 a share. And I think some of the research I heard recently, they haven't even a higher target on Amazon. So Amazon, not done going up here yet. I also trade weekly options in Amazon a lot, as I'll just talk about briefly toward the end. So that's the FibLines. That's my FibLines quarterly update. Again, it comes once per quarter, and I support about 220 symbols. So another thing I've been doing recently is I did this custom market watch screen here, and it's not well known, but you can go into Thinkorswim and you can right-click on this item down here and customize the columns. So I came up with this trend dashboard here, where I can look at my favorite tradable symbols for options. You can see what the last price was, a net change, the trend, whether it's up, down, or neutral. You can see right now, pretty much all these stocks are downtrend to neutral. Here's a new thing. I came up with a new measurement called the range X, or the range excursion. Now, if you recall, range bands is based on average true ranges. And when the stock is 1.05 times above its average, what am I trying to say? When the price is above 1.05 times the average true range from the midpoint, then it's in an uptrend. If it's less than 1.05, if it's below, the price is below 1.05 minus the average range minus the midpoint, is in a downtrend. You can see most of these values here. So this is in a downtrend because it's 1.9 times its ATR, so that's very oversold. NVIDIA is over 2 average true ranges below its midpoint, so we can see that's also in a downtrend there. So that's the way the range bands work. It's all based on average true ranges, and so that's what the range X is, and it gives you an idea how extended it is the stock is above or below its midpoint. We can see NVIDIA here is over 2 times below its average true range, along with FCAU. So after 2-week high and low, obviously, this is the number of points the stock would have to move against you. And then we have the range bands in multiple time frames, 5-minute, 60, and 4-hour. And then over here we have the squeeze indicators, the TTM squeeze, same one used by John Carter, etc., in 4 different time frames. So we can see here we have none of these are in a daily squeeze. But I switch over to my FibLines symbols. We can very quickly scan this entire universe and find something that's in a squeeze on the daily. For example, AMZN. I can see here that it's in a squeeze on the 4-hour and the daily. So that means it's in a period of consolidation and a potential trade candidate. So there's our squeeze. And so that's the Market Watch screen I found to be very handy. I had this up on my FibTools sell store, but I removed it just recently. So if you're interested in this, I'll send it to you, no charge. Drop me an email. It takes a little bit of manual setup, but it's definitely worth it. And you can scan large numbers of symbols for squeezes, which is very powerful. Okay, the other thing I've been doing lately is I've been using the Tastyworks platform. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but this is a new platform put together by Tom Sosnoff. He started his own company after leaving Thinkorswim. He's one of the founders of Thinkorswim. He's a big option trading guy. So this has a couple of advantages to the retail trader. One is that the commissions are very low. It's $1 per contract. Opening trades, no closing commission, $1 per contract plus fees, of course. So I do a lot of iron condors in this. So for example, this is a trade I did just Thursday on Amazon. I sold the 1675, 1680, 1720, 725 iron condor for a credit of 205. So it's, if I go max profit, I'm going to collect $205. Max loss, I'm going to lose $295. So you're basically risking like 3 to make 2 sort of a trade. Took it off a couple hours later for a debit of $1.50, so I made a quick $55 there. So I'm really doing one lots in this until I get used to this. I've tried to trade options for many years and struggled with it, and finally I'm having some success with the Tastyworks platform. Just really due to the commissions. I mean, it's an incredibly easy platform to use. I still prefer Thinkorswim for charting, but for just plain old trading options, Tastyworks is great. Great platform, fast. It's got a follow feature where you can see what the other traders are doing. You do have to pay for this a little bit, but you can see, for example, this is this guy Tony, and you can see what the different trades that he did, and so you can follow him if you'd like. So it's got a lot of cool features that you don't see in other brokerages, and plus he's so generous with the commissions. So I'm doing pretty well in this. I'm up about 20% on a $10,000 account. And at one point I was down about 15% for the year because the iron condors don't work all the time. They didn't work initially with all that straight up and down action we had earlier in the year. But they've been working recently, so I'm up about 20% for the year on that. And typically what I'll do is I'll wait till Wednesday and then I'll sell an iron condor for that Friday. And you'll see very rapid premium decay between Wednesday and Friday. And the trades are very forgiving. And most of the time you can take it off at a profit. And if it moves against you, you can almost always take it off at less than a full loss. So, for example, look at the calendar. On next Wednesday, the 4th, is a holiday. So probably Thursday, I'll be looking to sell iron condors for stocks that for contracts that close a day later. So it's a very fast way to make money, and you do have to be on top of it. But I've been doing it with the Tastyworks platform with some success. That's working out well. So that's it for my quarterly update. I hope you're doing well. Hope the markets are treating you well. And if you're interested in my FibLines indicator, you can find it on the FibTools Sells store. That's fibtools.sells.com. You can get a free version of the FibLines indicator that includes support for DIA, SPY, QQQ, IWM, and then the futures equivalents, NQ, YM, TF, and the other one, I can't think of what it is right now. So you get support for those, and this is free. You can download this from the FibTools Sells store. If you're interested in the full version of the FibLines indicator, that's this one. It costs $99 for 1 year of updates. Contains support for about 220 symbols, the Dow 30, NASDAQ 100, and all the major tradables, your GLD, your Euro, your select sector spiders. It's pretty much all in here. And again, I have to go through here and calculate these levels and embed them into the indicators. It's a lot of work, and it has to be done, has to be maintained, but I find it very valuable when it comes to finding support and resistance levels, and especially for short-term options trading. where you're looking at contracts that expire in a few days. That's available on the FibTool sales store at $99. Gives you 4 quarterly updates, and this is a huge discount as opposed to my versus my competitor who sells a product for $999 and $150 a month to maintain it. And it rhymes with Guru Lines. So this is my version of this, and $99 for 1 year I think is very reasonable. So that's it. Thanks very much for watching. Good trading, and have a great